today why I don't feel this body should opt for a special election versus an appointment. We begin with having been placed in a situation by the former commissioner because he was so selfish that he only thought about himself and what he wanted in his future, that he did not resign in time for an election to have been held in November, past November, where you had a lot of people that went out to the polls, and individuals could have had ample time to have campaigned. That is why we're here today. But no one talked about that back then, even though the people in his own party saw fit to retire him in that congressional race, and not by a small amount, by a huge amount. But we're left with the situation he left us with. Having said that, I know the old saying, democracy has no price. Well, I know better. I've been around too long. I know democracy has a price. $300,000 for a special election is not chicken feed. How many here make $330,000 a year? The fact that beginning this January 1st, our laws have changed where individuals that have been used to just getting their absentee ballot at their home and voting absentee now have to ask for it. And I will tell you that 99% of the people don't know that. It's going to make this into an election that you're going to have even a lower turnout than you usually would. I don't know if that number will be 5, 6, 7, 8% of the total voters in District 2, but it's going to be the lowest turnout that we have ever seen, and I have no doubt of that. The fact that we have been left with a lawsuit inspired by the previous office holder in District 2, and he will deny it, but like I said yesterday, the fingerprints, and we all are born with one apiece, his are there, Juan Cuba's, that he's used for all the shenanigans time and time again. Because of that lawsuit, if it is successful, don't matter that we have a special election, we're going to have then another one. However, if this body names a replacement for District 2, not any particular form of precincts or areas that comprise District 2, then whatever happens with our lawsuit, the individual that we appointed stays. No special election, no additional dollars. In a special election like this, and let me back up for a second. This is all planned, very well planned, so that in November, there would not have been an election for the seat. so that we would have a special election now, special election that I guarantee you the previous office holder in this seat is prepared for with enough pockets of monies here and there that whoever he chooses that did not file an application to be appointed, he made some phone calls, including to myself that I did not answer. So that individual will be very well financed. And in an election that's going to be so quick, anyone that gets 15, 18, 20% of the vote will be the winner. Because unbeknownst, I think, to most, there are no runoffs in special election. And you are going to have some 12 people, maybe more, running. So you could figure that out in what I'm saying, and it's the truth. You could very well end up with someone winning that seat with less than 20% of the vote or so. There are many other reasons that we could go into, but democracy, as the Greeks invented it, because we talk about democracy so much, and we, for the most, don't know what democracy is. Because I will assure you, if the Greeks of the past that invented democracy were alive today, they'd be roiling in their stomachs, not believing what we have done with their creation of democracy. Democracy is not for the sake of saying we're being democratic. You throw an election that is going to be done in approximately 60 days or less, depending on the time that we give for people to qualify, where most people aren't going to know who's really running, what they stand for, what they're about, their background, et cetera, where someone already is going to have the vast advantage because it was planned that way for them. And the others are just part of the act that they think, gee, this is democracy, this is wonderful, I really have a chance to win. And then when you see the ending, like Gomer Pyle used to say, surprise, surprise. That's the reality of that type of democracy. Democracy is giving everybody the same level playing field, where they have enough time to raise some dollars, where they have enough time to go knocking on doors, in enough doors that enough people can get to meet them one-on-one and see what they're all about, where there can be ample debates that people know about and they can participate. Frankly, no one can convince me that the route of a special election in the way that I described that this has to happen is going to be democratic. We have every right, and the citizens of Miami have approved our charter numerous times, where we have every right in a democratic process when there are vacancies to be able to name an individual. Lastly, whether it's 5 months, but in this case, I think it would be closer to around 2 months or so. No district of the city should be without a commissioner. And District 2 deserves to have an immediate representation I've already stated that I think there's some fine candidates in the 18 that submitted their names, 16 that were here yesterday. While I think some are better than others, so that there's no false illusions that I'm trying to push one over the other so I could have a friend up here in the dais with me. I publicly have stated to the chairwoman that she can choose anyone out of those 18 that we could get a consensus on, and I will gladly second that and go with her nomination, whoever it is. I just think that the most democratic way, the fairest way, is for us to make an appointment and then let people that want to run have 11 months, 10 and a half months to be able to campaign the way that most of us in America see democracy. At the end of the day, we have a charter we have to follow. Each of us has one vote. As you recently have seen in Congress and in the halls of Washington, you could only move government with consensus, no matter how good or how bad they are. And if there's no consensus, then at least I've stated my way of looking at this. And if this goes to an election and what I'm saying happens, don't look at me and say, gee, why did you do that? Why did you put it up for an election?
Commissioner?
I don't want to be redundant. I think Commissioner Carollo has outlined all the points. I outlined them yesterday, too. We went back and forth. We had a long meeting yesterday. I don't believe we should go to a special election. I think the charter, Section 12 of our charter, is very clear. It says that we first have to appoint, and if we fail to do so, then we go to a special election. And I want to make sure the city attorney clarifies that provision again for the record, because I'm afraid, I fear that we may go to the courts, that this may end up in the courts. And I want to make sure that we're following the charter in the order we're supposed to be following. That's very, very important. If you clarify that for me, and then I'll continue my comments.
Sure, Commissioner. Section 12 of the charter requires, first in Section A, that when a vacancy occurs on the City Commission, as it has done here, that the vacancy shall be filled within 10 days after such vacancy occurs by a majority of the remaining City Commissioners. I think that's a provision you wanted me to clarify. That, and correct me if I'm wrong, that at the beginning of Section 12 of the charter, within 10 days, it requires that the remaining commissioners fill the vacancy by an appointment. That is the first sentence in Section 12 of the charter.
Right, so that's the number one, on the list. And
Correct.
then it says, if we fail to do so, continue.
And then in Section B, it says, if the remaining city commissioners shall fail or refuse to fill such vacancy within 10 days after it occurs, as provided herein, the city commission shall call a special election to fill the vacancy to be held at a date not less than 38 nor more than 45 days after the expiration of the 10-day period and the 5-day qualifying period. So Section B.
So in essence, if we abdicate our responsibility, we don't fulfill our responsibility, then it falls to a special election.
Correct.
What if we're stalemated here and we don't agree, it's 2-2? I don't believe in a special election should be called, because I agree with what Commissioner Carollo was saying. It's going to be a low turnout election. Though it's for lack of a better word, it's going to be kind of rigged. And because there's a former commissioner who could have left early, as Commissioner Carollo said, who could have saved the city $330,000, but his own folly, his own ambition, didn't allow him to leave early. And that's why we're here. He could have left early, and we could have had an election in November. It wouldn't have cost us anything. It would have been a much higher turnout. That's really what democracy is. Since I've been here 3.5 years now, or a little bit under 3.5 years, there's been one appointment that was done. There was a process. Commissioner Reyes, you voted to appoint someone,
Yes, I did.
and you found it legitimate.
Yes, I did.
And democracy may have not had a price back then, or it doesn't have a price now. But you made that choice, and you appointed someone.
Yeah, I did.
Chairwoman King, you applied, and you brought people that were supporting you as other candidates did yesterday. You applied. It was a legitimate process. Everybody here, Commissioner Carollo, he voted to appoint. I voted to appoint. Commissioner Russell voted to appoint. Every single commissioner here voted to appoint. It was a legitimate process. And all of a sudden, a year later, it's no longer legitimate. We have to go to a special election. Why? And that's the faulty logic that I don't get. You have to be consistent in politics. You have to be consistent in governing. If you believe something, if you believe it's the way to go is through a special election, why didn't we do that when District 5 was up? And why did everybody apply, and why did the people testify, and why did we all vote for an appointment? Who later on, we found out, that candidate got 14% of the vote, and I guess he got 65, he corrected me yesterday, right? 65 was it, something like that. He did very well. So now, all of a sudden, we're in a place that we're making the counter argument, a totally different argument that was made a year ago. And say, no, an appointment, well, I'm not making it. I agree with Commissioner Carollo. There should be an appointment. That's our number one responsibility according to our charter, a charter approved by city voters. First, we have to appoint. If we fail to do so, then it falls to an election, a special election. But that's a failure on our part. And any argument that says, no, the special election should go first is a faulty argument. It's a flawed argument. First, we have to appoint. Commissioner Carollo is correct. Suarez Menendez, Dr. Suarez Menendez, James Torres, Judge Martin Zilber, and many others, very qualified candidates that have people come before us yesterday from all different walks of life, from all different backgrounds. They all offered different things to us. But clearly there were some people that had more support than others. So the community, like for example, when then Christine King, before you were a commissioner, had a lot of prominent people testify on her behalf, community leaders, civic leaders. We rejected that. I didn't, I voted for her, but it was rejected and somebody else was appointed. And that's fine, that's part of our responsibility. That's what we do. For whatever reason, for the reasons that maybe they felt that that person was a better person at that time. And later on, she has an election, and whether the community ratifies that or not, we're gonna have an election in November. The people will tell us if we're right or wrong. They may tell us, hey, you know what, you were wrong in appointing X or Y. Or they may tell us we were right. But this seat deserves representation. There are many issues that are coming before us in 4 days, in 5 days, on Thursday. We have 6 commission meetings. God help us if it goes to the courts. And God help us if the courts delay it and the seat remains vacant for longer than the 50 days. Because then we have affordable housing issues. We have anti-poverty initiatives. We have controversial issues that are coming, and District 2 will not have a voice. All the coastal communities will not have a voice. On this day, this seat will be empty. It will be empty if we don't appoint. Because best case scenario is we have an election in 50 days from now. So for 6 meetings, and I could go through the list. I have it off the top of my head, but I'm not going to bore because I'm running out of time, bore the audience. But that list includes controversial issues, impacting issues that will have serious impacts on the future of our city, especially our urban core and other areas. Mr. Torres knows about scooters. We've been talking about that. Mr. Silver and I have spoken about affordable housing and the West Grove. So there are issues that matter that are coming before us. The creation of a West Grove CRA to fix that area, to finally do something about it. That commissioner, whoever he or she is, has to be here to educate us, to help us, because he's the one that, he or she will be the closest to that community. For us to not have that responsibility, not take that seriously, and ignore our charter, and claim it as it's democracy has no price. That's not a real argument, because 5% of the people voting, where only half of them are registered, is not democracy. And people being able to raise money and campaign in 50 days, people that are well-connected, have special interest ties, and can do it quickly, a sprint to the finish line, of course you're going to win. And the former commissioner who created this problem, his folly, the former commissioner who created this problem, is behind, as Commissioner Carollo said, a lot of these lawsuits and a lot of these things that are happening here. It is not correct to make false arguments up here and say, oh, this is about democracy. If 20 activists come out here, that's not democracy. That's 20 people out of 100,000. But people that care to be here on a Saturday, to be here on a Sunday, so their voice matters also. But the people that are coming out yesterday were coming out in favor of one candidate, the judge, in favor of another candidate, James Torres, in favor of Dr. Suarez Menendez, and activists that have been involved in the Grove. And what I took into account and how I came down to Judge Zilber at the end of the day was because he's the one that's lived the most, the longest in the district. That to me was important. He's also the one who's been elected 3 times, once to the Coconut Grove Council, Village Council, and twice countywide. He's the one that brings some legal expertise to our dais, which you bring also, Madam Chair, which is important, because you bring some reasoning to us, maybe sometimes, right? So he's the one that I thought had the most community ties. Not that anybody else is not a good candidate, and maybe in the future they could be great candidates, but the one at this juncture that I thought, after looking at all the resumes, and by the way, your resume, Doctor, is incredible. It really is. You know, and it wasn't an easy decision. And your community activism is fascinating. You've been at every meeting. I've seen you here all the time. And many other people that have come here, Mr. Hepburn, for example, who's been involved in politics for a long time. So there are people that deserve, and they can run in November, and they have time to campaign, and people can get to know who they are, and people can choose in a real election with a real amount of voters voting, not a special election with a low turnout. So there's no democracy we're talking about here. What we're talking about is not doing our duty, which is first and foremost to appoint someone so that seat is not empty. So that District 2 has a voice. That's our responsibility. So I, along with Commissioner Carollo, I agree with him. I don't know if we're going to have a stalemate here today or not, but I'm not going to vote for a special election. I think we're circumventing democracy in a special election. I think we're going around our charter in a special election. I think it's open to a court challenge and to the Department of Justice challenge. I think that's what's going to happen here if I vote for this. So perhaps the courts will decide, or we could decide maybe Thursday, because we have to call a special election today. Whatever our legal department tells us, we can wait. But today, I'm not going to vote for a special election. It is not democracy. That's a false argument. It is a circumventing of our charter. And we have very qualified candidates that have come before us and have told us what they offer. And we know and we've seen what they can do for this community, and they can be a voice. Any of them can be very qualified. I happen to favor one. I make a choice, and when I make it, I made it. I'm very fair in that sense. And when I give somebody my word, I gave Judge Zilber my word. And I'm continuing to stick with him to the end. But the argument that a special election works is not a good argument. I don't buy it, and I don't think anybody here should buy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Reyes?
Yes, I'm going to be brief because I think that we are beating on a dead horse, and I'm not that type of person that like to hear myself speak. But I'm just want to address some of the comments that were made by my colleagues. I respect their opinion, and I wish they respect mine. That's the way that democracy works. You see, you have an opinion, and you respect the person that does not agree with you. That is what the fathers, the Athenians that Commissioner Carollo referred to, like Cleisthenes and Pericles. They were the fathers of democracy. That's what they tried, and they still, they make that in Athens, make Athens an example for the world. And the definition of democracy was made very clear by our great president, Abraham Lincoln, when he stated that democracy is for the people, by the people, and for the people. You see? That's what democracy is. I mean, you can change it anyways. I believe that the people will pick and then should choose. And the statement that, I'm going to have a very low turnout. Well, if you go back to all the elections in District 2, the average turnout is 11%. 11% of the voters go out and vote on District 2. And Mr. Diaz de la Portilla, my dear commissioner, when we were choosing the replacement for that vacancy, I made a mistake. I should have voted with you, who adamantly, you and very passionately, you asked for an special election. You did. You see, well, look at the records. You even called us that were asking for an appointment. You call us three white boys making a choice. You see, I remember well. I made a mistake. I should have voted just with you. I should have supported your plea for an special election at that time. What made you change? I don't know. But at that time, you were very passionate about an special election. Thank you. And now let's vote.
This is exactly what democracy is. The exchange that we're having here, the differences of opinion that we have, this is democracy. And I do believe, as I have said, that the people should decide who their representative is. So let's pass the ballots out again.
Before or while the clerk is doing that, Madam Chair, if I could ask the Assistant City Attorney a couple of questions pertaining to this. If there was a special election, what is the least and the maximum amount of dates that we are allowed by charter to have open for people to apply to run?
The clerk is signaling that it's a 5-day qualifying period, but I'll let Todd
Okay.
go ahead and address it.
Then, Mr. Clerk, the ball has been sent to your corner.
Yes, sir. Mr. City Attorney is correct. There's a 5-day qualifying period, and it does not include weekends or holidays.
It's only a 5-day.
Yes, sir.
No more, no less.
No more, no less. No weekends or holidays.
No weekends or no holidays. Okay. And what is the least amount of dates and the maximum amount of days that after that initial 5-day qualifying period are we allowed to hold the election on?
Sir, the election could be held anytime between February 20th, which is
Give me dates.
the number of days. 8 days, sir.
You mean, we could have an election after
No,
qualifying?
no, no, that's the window. You could, so let me go through the dates. You could have the election anytime between February 20th, which is a Monday, so February 20th, the 21st, which is a Tuesday, the 22nd, which is a Wednesday, the 23rd, which is a Thursday, the 24th, which is a Friday, the 25th, which is a Saturday, the 26th, which is a Sunday, and the 27th, which is a Monday.
Okay, but again, if you could answer my question. The least amount of dates, based on the dates that you gave, if you could count them, you got the calendar before you, is how many days after qualifying ends?
Oh, my apologies. Thank you, Madam Assistant City Clerk. 38 through 45.
Excuse me?
38, no earlier than 38, no later than 45 days after the expiration of the 5-day qualifying period.
Okay.
February 21st.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the maximum of 45 after the 5 days qualifying
50 days.
would make it what date? And what day of the week is it?
The very last day, which would be the 45th day after the expiration of the qualifying period, is February 27th, which is a Monday.
It's 50 days.
Okay. And have you spoken to the elections department, Christina White, to find out if they could put an election together in this short period of time?
Yes. It's challenging, but yes, they will be able to assist the city with the special election during that window.
Do they have a problem with any dates? For instance, if we go to a Monday election with 45 days,
The 27th? No, sir.
all right? I just wanted to get that on the record.
I have a question of the clerk, Madam Chair, before you read the ballots. 50 days from today, right? 5 days qualifying, 45 days maximum, 50 days from today, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I want to give as much time as possible if we, eventually the courts rule, whatever. So it's 50 days from today.
Yes, sir.
And what days?
Now you just have to be careful. The way that it aligns is
You
50
have
days.
holidays in between.
Right, but
Right.
it is, you're correct.
So
Yes,
you
sir.
have
So
President's Day,
February 27th would be the
Right.
very last day.
including the holiday, Martin Luther King Day,
Yes, sir.
President's Day,
Yes, sir. February 27th.
holidays, weekends included.
Yes, sir.
So 50 days, getting rid of those two holidays,
February 27th includes all of that, sir.
includes all of that, the latest possible moment. And
Yes, sir.
What day is February 27th? What
It's a Monday, sir.
It's a Monday. And what do you predict the turnout's going to be on that day? But anyway, that's a different conversation. All right. Thank you. 5%.
Oh, you're waiting for me?
You're a lone holdout here.
The vote result for round 5, as it pertains to the appointment to the District 2 vacant seat, Commissioner Diaz-Portilla voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Carroyo voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. You do not have 3 votes for one particular candidate, so an appointment cannot be made at this time.
Okay, can we keep with the balloting?
Round 6. I think the U.S. House did 25 rounds. What was it? Something like that? Was it 14? Yeah. Where's Matt Gates when you need him, right?
The vote result for round 6 as it pertains to an appointment to the District 2 vacant seat. Commissioner Diaz-Lartia voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Correo voted for James D. Torres. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. There aren't 3 votes for a candidate, so an appointment cannot be made at this time.
Okay, let's keep going.
One more.
Well,
We'll do 14. I mean, we should emulate our Congress, right?
The vote result for round 7 as it relates to an appointment to the District 2 vacant seat. Commissioner Diaz-Lartia voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Correo voted for James D. Torres. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. No candidate received 3 votes, therefore an appointment cannot be made at this time.
we have another ballot, please.
Does anyone know if the Dolphins are winning or not? Are we out of the playoffs? I see everybody looking at their phone. So are we out of the playoffs again? Are we winning?
The score is Jets 3, the Dolphins 6.
All right. How about the Bills Patriots? How about the Bills Patriots? What's happening with the Bills? Does anybody know? We have more important business, but basically the playoffs again is just not a good thing. The curse of the Dolphins, right? Yeah. How's Buffalo doing? Are they winning? Oh, really? 14-14. Oh, wow. Okay. So let's do about 10 more ballots, and then we can get to the game, the closing.
Commissioners, the vote result for round 8 as it relates to an appointment to the District 2 vacant seat. Commissioner Diaz-Lartia voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Correo voted for James D. Torres. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. No applicant received 3 votes, therefore an election cannot be made at this time.
One more time.
One more time.
The young lady who was giving us the update, just make sure you keep on giving us updates on the game. Yes, ma'am, we will. Yes, ma'am. At least give us some good news for the day, right? We make the playoffs. What do you think, Madam Chair? We make the playoffs? What do you think, Commissioner Carollo? We make it this year?
No.
I know, I agree. The curse. Commissioner Reyes, do we make it? I think so. You think so? We get lucky? But we're going to lose in the playoffs. Yeah. Of course we're going to lose in the playoffs. I'm saying, right now we're talking about do we make it? Yeah. 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 Well, they're good matchups. They'll win the game, and Buffalo should beat the Patriots too, so, but, yeah, yeah.
Commissioners, the vote result for round 9 as it relates to an appointment to the District 2 vacant seat. Commissioner Diaz-Albertia voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Correo voted for Jorge Suarez Menendez. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. No applicant received 3 votes, therefore an appointment cannot be made at this time.
Bring it on. One more? One more.
The vote result for round 10 as it relates to an appointment to the District 2 vacant seat. Commissioner Diaz-Albertia voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Correo voted for Martin Zilber. Commissioner Reyes selected none of the applicants. Commissioner King selected none of the applicants. No applicant received 3 votes, therefore an appointment cannot be made at this time.
You want to go home? You do? Commissioner Carollo, Vice Chair?
You bring lunch?
I have sushi, I think. I don't know, maybe. Maybe we have sushi, I don't know yet. We got to check.
Do that in person.
Because he don't like sushi, I know.
Well, I would suggest that it's 3 p.m., that maybe we take
A recess.
a recess,
Yes.
20 minutes,
Can we do 30, Commissioner?
make it 3:30.
Yes, sir.
Maybe 29 minutes, maybe 28 by the time I'm done talking. And then we come back and give it one last time.
Okay.
Because I truly don't want to spend all day here today like we did yesterday. Have a cold that's still trying to grab me after I've just gotten over a flu.
I had the same issue.
Yeah.
All December.
So
We come back at 3:30. Is that okay, Madam Chair?
Is that going to change anything? Because
It could.
I believe that,
It could. Well, you don't know. Well, you know what you know, but.
No,
you
I know.
But you don't know what she knows.
well, I don't know.
If that is
So
the
we
will-
can come
if
back.
that is the will of the body, we will recess until 3:30.
I
in session. What is the will of this commission?
Madam Chair, may I know that we should, well, after all this voting, it's clear that nobody has 3 votes. So I move for a special election. I'm moving for a special election. So
Okay. We need one
I need
more.
a second.
We need one more person?
Yes, but I just want you to know
I'll second it.
that that's what I want to do. I'm moving for a second. You can open the floor.
Commissioner? On the floor now is a motion and a second to call for a special election.
Okay.
So we'll take a vote.
Who made the motion?
I did.
Commissioner Reyes.
Second by the chair.
Let's take a vote.
Yes? Let's take a vote.
Todd, can you poll the,
Roll call vote. Commissioner Diaz-Portillo?
No.
Commissioner Reyes?
Yes?
Commissioner Carrillo? Chair King?
yes.
Okay,
Motion fails 2-2.
that's it.
So let's go home. We come back on Thursday and we can call, have the conversation again on Thursday.
Is that a motion?
I make a motion.
Is
Are we adjourned?
Is there a second?
Adjourn it today? Yes, but I want to make sure that, okay, that's fine.
There's a motion and a second for discussion. Vice Chair?
The microphone, Chair, Vice Chair.
Assistant City Attorney, based on our charter provisions, can we recess this meeting into the Thursday meeting of next week on the 12th?
And I have a follow-up to that.
So you're asking if we can recess it? It doesn't change the 10-day period to appoint. You have till today at 5 o'clock to appoint. After that, charter says that the city commission shall call a special election.
It says that the city commission what?
Shall call a special election. So you have 10 days. The 10 days expires today at 5 o'clock. After 5 o'clock today, the only option is to call a special election.
The only option is to call a
Yes,
special election.
correct, under the charter.
I have a question. Are you done, Commissioner?
For the meantime, I'm done. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the commencement of proceedings without adjourning but recessing does not continue the process?
Correct?
So it has to be done by 5 p.m. Are you sure?
Yes.
Based on?
The plain language of the charter. The
Okay.
charter says.
Can you read it to me?
I know we're both reading the same thing.
Yeah, I know,
But my
but tell me,
best-
I want to see your logic, yeah.
My best reading is
Yes.
a vacancy on the city commission, shall be filled within 10 days. Shall be filled within 10 days after such vacancy occurs by a majority of the remaining city commissioners. 10 days is 10 days.
And no court can interpret that the commencement of those proceedings could drag on. For example, what happens, the example that we've been using all along, that once it starts, it's an ongoing process. It's not an adjournment, it's a recess. that process has started already. That debate, like we've been here 2 days, for example. Let's say we come back tomorrow, hypothetically, or Tuesday, or Wednesday, or Thursday, or Friday. Does that, once it begins, it has to end in 10 days?
I think that
And is there any court, you think, or any case law that shows that the commencement is what matters, not the termination, the conclusion?
I don't believe so. I believe that it's 10 days here. I mean, I understand. Look, I've been at the city for a while. I've
I know.
litigated.
It's not that you've been in the city for a while.
I know. No,
That's not the issue, right?
the issue is I have had situations where, for example, the termination of the police chief or
Right.
a fire chief. That provision's a little different, right? Because and under those circumstances and under the language in that section of the charter, the commencement is sufficient. Here, the language is very different. The language here says within 10 days.
Because I know the
something has
history
to
of
happen.
those situations you cited was the commencement, and then it could be a process that drags on for a period of time.
Also, we're piecing together different things that have happened over time, right?
Right.
The adjourning of the meeting yesterday and continuation of it today didn't extend a 10-day period. What it did was it continued the meeting, right? You already had.
So we didn't
public
adjourn yesterday,
comment.
we recessed.
I'm
because-
sorry, recessed.
Yeah, had we adjourned
Misnomer.
yesterday, we had to notice and everything else,
Exactly,
right? So we
exactly.
recessed.
So for notice and for public comment and for all those things, a recess is just a continuation, separate and apart from what the 10 days required by the charter to make this, to make that appointment.
So you
So
think.
that's my opinion.
Am I me? So the language, because it says within 10 days, that the appointment has to come within those parameters, basically.
Correct.
In your interpretation.
That's my interpretation, and also,
Is that your city attorney's interpretation too,
I
or?
mean, to the extent that I'm up here and I'm giving you an
You're
opinion,
the acting
yes,
city
take
attorney?
it for what it's worth. But
Is that Mr. Weiss's interpretation, or do we need to ask all 35 of you
I
guys?
think Mr. Weiss,
Or-
probably, if you want, we can
Or
ask
you get
too,
7
but-
lawyers in a room and see
No.
who agrees, right?
My opinion is that it's 10 days. And in fact, when you look at Section B, if an appointment isn't made, then basically the clock starts ticking within, you have the 10 days, then tomorrow starts the 5 days, and then you have 38 to 45 days in order to have the election.
Right, so in essence, we got the field goal? He's going like this, we won, 9-6, that's good. So, we won? Did the Bills win? All right, let me know. But, so in essence, the clock starts ticking at 5 PM today, right?
Well, it expires at 5 PM to make the,
No, it
to
starts
make the
ticking for the
appointment.
50 days.
The 5, so you had the 10, then you have the 5,
The
right?
10 already expires at 5 PM today.
Right, and then you have the 5.
The 5 and the 45, maximum.
And then 38 to 45.
38 to 45,
Exactly.
but so
Correct.
basically 50 days to an election.
Exactly.
And the qualifying could be as many days as you want, and it could,
It's 5 days.
5-day period, but it could be whenever we want it to be, right?
I mean, I think the charter contemplates that it be the next 5 days so that you have between 38 and 45 days. You have that 45-day max, right?
Right, of course. So really, the most we can do is 50 days total from today, right?
Correct.
Okay. So we can come back Thursday and say, and decide that we're gonna have the special election. We don't have to do it today. Absolutely. We can come back Thursday. In fact, we can come back the next commission meeting if we wanted to, not this Thursday, the one 2 weeks from now. As long as we're within that period and call for the special election. We don't have to call for the special election today. That was the interpretation that Vicky Mendez, our city attorney, gave me yesterday. Theoretically.
And the reason,
Yeah.
what was the interpretation? I don't want to, give a
Well,
different
what she told me
opinion.
was that we could come back on Thursday and call for the special election on Thursday. We don't have to call for the special election today.
If you do that, I think,
The appointment ends today. The possibility of an appointment ends today.
correct.
The calling of a special election, according to the city charter, section 12, does not have to be today. It could be on Thursday.
The problem with
Yes.
that.
Can you just answer, if yes or no?
Yes.
Just answer him if that is not a correct interpretation, just say that. George, can you come up and give him some assistance as well? Right now, At the expiration of 5 o'clock, an appointment is no longer a viable option.
But not the calling of a special election.
So when do we have to indicate that we're calling for a special election? Is it an automatic, or do we have to do something as a body?
I stand by my colleague in that the charter says within 10 days of the vacancy, you shall appoint. So your first window is 10 days from the date of the vacancy. That expires in an hour. Thereafter, you have the second responsibility to call for a special election. It says you have to call for a special election, which means you have to pick a date for the special election. So there's no automatic. There's a
Right.
window of date. So you have to, when you call for the election, you have to pick a date for the election.
So we can pick a date on Thursday,
Well,
or do we have to pick a date today?
the most conservative approach, we've looked at these numbers that we've, I believe, shared with you. The most
not what I'm
conservative approach
Hold on.
would be to pick the day today because of the way the charter is written. And the charter is written like a confusing math problem, but if you count the 30, the charter says, let me just read the confusing math problem,
38 to 45 days, 5-day qualifying period.
including the 5-day qualifying period.
So we
Not-
have
not- not-
45
not
But then the next
45 days
sentence says.
maximum
the
is what you're saying? We have 45 days maximum to hold a special election?
Right, but
on the-
then,
No, that's not correct.
well, the next sentence says that the qualifying period must occur 38 days prior to the day of the election. So really, when you look at your map or the timeframe, today, the 8th, is the 10th day. Then you have the 5-day qualifying period, which has to be, as Todd indicated, on a day, not a holiday or a weekend. So the 9th through the 13th of January would be your qualifying period. And then you count the 38 days, which puts you on,
38 to 45 days,
right, which is a
not
window.
38 days.
Right, which is a window of the 20th of February to the 27th of February.
The 27th being the
The
45th day?
45th day from the date of the 10 days and the 5-day qualifying period.
No, the 27th is 50 days, right?
So, no,
So it's 5 and 45.
so we're counting from,
You're counting 38,
well, the 38th day is the 20th of February,
but it's not 38 days. It's 38 to 45.
but it's 38 days from the 10-day appointment period plus the 5-day qualification period. The 38th day starts on Saturday, the 14th of January. You count 38 days, you end up on the 20th of February is your 38th day.
Why are you counting 38 days and not 45 days?
Because the window is, the election shall occur either between the 38th and the 45th. So the 38th is the soonest you can have the election.
I'm not saying the soonest, I'm saying the latest.
The latest is the 45th, which is the 27th of February.
Right. That we can call it on Thursday if we want.
Well, if you call it on a Thursday and you do all the math, that puts you on the 28th.
No, because
We're
you're,
one day shot.
from today,
If you call it
hold
on.
on, George, from today, the clock starts ticking.
Right.
Doesn't matter, we call the election.
No.
There is no clock as far as.
Well, yeah, there's a 45-day and a 5-day
Did the
clock.
clock start ticking from day one?
From today.
For within 10 days? Because what he's trying to say
Of course.
is that our 45-day
Starts today.
starts today.
Right.
And what you're trying to say is, no, it started from the first day that puts us within this 10 days?
No, what he's saying is, what I'm saying is not that. What I'm saying, Madam Chair, is that it is 45 days plus 5 days for qualifying.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if we call it 38 days before, 36 days before, 32 days before. Doesn't matter if we call it on Thursday or call it today, right? Because the clock's already ticking. It just has to be done within that period. Not the call. The period is the period, according to the charter. So if the call comes on the 12th and not on the 8th, who cares? Those days go away anyway, right?
Well, so if you,
This was the interpretation given to me, and I think you should call your boss yesterday by your city attorney. That it doesn't matter when we call it. As long as we stay within that 50-day period, those 45 max, 38 to 45, plus 5. So it doesn't matter if we call it Thursday. And I think that's something that gives us all time to think a little bit. And what's wrong with doing it on Thursday? What's the big deal?
Madam Chair, now and I'm getting a little bit confused. Maybe it's my age, but I'm getting a little bit confused. Before he says that, I'm going to say it. The more that the longer time that we take for calling a special election, the less time that the candidates will have, right? That means that if we call it today, within 5 days of today, it is the qualifying period, right? But altogether, it's going to be 45 days. But if we call it on Thursday, then we have that 45 day, it's reduced by 41 days. That is less time for campaigning and for people learning about their candidates, which I think is unfair.
Madam Chair.
Hold on.
That is my interpretation. I might be wrong, but
Mr.
if
City
we have
Attorney.
45 days since we start the procedure,
Hold on. Hold on. Mr. City Attorney, because I can read my colleagues, I know I don't have the votes to call a special election today. Can we do it on Thursday?
The city attorney will be here in 5 minutes. Can we take a recess? I do not want to conflict with her opinion. If she gave an
Her
opinion to
opinion was that
you-
we can.
I'm sorry?
Her opinion is and was yesterday that we can.
She'll be here in 5 minutes?
We'll wait
Less
5
than that
minutes.
now.
We'll wait 5
We'll
minutes.
wait.
I do not, she is the city attorney. I do not want to conflict with her opinion. She's running.
Okay.
She's there. She made it.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning. Hi, Madam Attorney.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I was, before you got here,
I saw it.
you saw, and I was repeating what you and I talked about yesterday.
Yes, so in a perfect world, as my colleague said, you would call the election today. However, if we work backwards, you could do it on Thursday. I would not do it later than Thursday because we have a meeting on Thursday. So that's why I said you could call
Okay,
it on
so we
Thursday.
can do it on Thursday, so now,
But-
thank you.
But in a perfect world, we would call it today to work back from
It's
all
too
the
bad we don't
numbers.
live in a perfect world, huh? Yeah.
I understand.
So, yeah, we can do it on Thursday legally.
Yes,
Yeah, okay,
but
thank you.
again, we have to work back the numbers. So
Yes.
probably Todd is already going to be working through for an expected call on Thursday.
Do I have a motion?
I
to-
moved that we adjourn.
Do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye,
No,
Aye.
okay, we adjourn.
Motion passes 3-1.
For discussion. We're supposed to have for discussion, okay? But for discussion, we have to be fair. Commissioner?
Madam Chair, if this is going to go to an election, then even though I've stated yesterday, I've stated today, all the reasons why I think it's wrong, but we live in a democracy that we supposedly all have to follow certain rules, even though there are some that think they could do whatever they please. I'm not one of those. I think we have to try to follow the charter, even though there might be some wiggle room. We're still going to be on Thursday in the same situation we are today of a special election. So if that's the case, then I'd rather just call for the special election today and not wait into Thursday. You know, I see people waving hands and so on, but frankly, the majority of you, and I'm glad you're here, but I've never seen you here before. I don't know if you're voters in District 2, even if you're voters anywhere in Miami. It doesn't mean anything to me. And I'm sorry, but I just have to be frank. The bottom line is that if we were to be able to consider an appointment on Thursday, that's a different story. But if all that we're doing is prolonging, calling a special election until Thursday, or worse yet, the possibility that we throw it into the court's hands, I can't go that route. I'd rather give anyone that's going to run the utmost opportunity to be able to campaign and raise dollars. And at the same time, if we call the special election today, that means that Friday will be the 5th day of qualifying. And then I would, am I correct in that? If we call the special election today, Friday would end the 5th day of qualifying.
The best situation would be to call it today so that you
Yeah,
have
but-
everything in the books
Yeah, but what
appropriately and nobody
I'm
can-
asking is, if we call it today, then we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as the qualifying dates.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And then I would call for the election to be held on February 27th, Monday, so that people could at least have 45 full days of campaigning time.
Is
Yes.
that a motion, Commissioner?
This is for discussion, and I will be making a motion.
I will second it.
Towards
Go
it.
ahead, make the motion. Whatever. Yes. Oh. It's a motion, and I will second it, or if not,
Well, let's make it as a motion for the purpose of discussion.
okay,
There's a second.
I'll second.
Motion in a second.
The final question. I'm willing to go along if that's the issue, if that's the conclusion, the best option that you see. And if Commissioner Carollo thinks that's the best way to go, I will go with you. I just want to make sure that we're not opening ourselves. Hold on a second.
If it was
I
a
have the floor.
situation
I want to
that
make
we
sure,
still had until Thursday
I,
to be able to consider appointing someone, then I would not be making this motion.
right.
But if all that we're doing is prolonging this longer, I don't think it's the right way to go.
Absolutely.
And I would agree with that. I want to make sure that legally, we're not putting ourselves in a bad place. That's my concern.
No, we're not,
Legally, the best way
Is
would be
this-
to call it today.
absolutely.
Okay, because
After you've decided that it's time to call an election, today would be the best.
the interpretation you gave me yesterday was that we had the option, if we didn't appoint by today, that we had the option of waiting until Thursday.
So remember that-
That in between.
But
that
we
in
won't be
between.
able to
Right, so
appoint.
it's a gray area.
We won't be able to appoint.
Right.
It's that you can't appoint
No, we
past
can't
5
appoint
o'clock
past today, I know that.
That's fine.
Right, but the gray area between the 45 days, the 38 days, the working backwards, that arguably you could do it on Thursday if you needed a little time to think it through. The problem is because this is first impression. This is the first time this happens in a long time. I mean, ever, I think.
Okay.
So that is why we would be in the best legal position to call for an election today, so that we have all of our timeframes that we've worked with would work.
Right, and the qualifying period, as Commissioner Carollo said, would.
Starts this week, Monday.
Monday.
Is that the way it
Tomorrow.
is? Does it, or do you set the qualifying period? It starts,
The qualifying
Tomorrow.
period will start tomorrow, and it will end on Friday at 6 p.m.
So from 9 a.m. tomorrow till 6 p.m. on Friday. Okay, I can do that. I can support that now.
Okay,
Call it
so,
Yeah.
to be specific, the motion is to have a special election, whereas the qualifying period will begin on Monday at 9 a.m. and it will-
8 a.m., sir.
8 a.m., and it would end on Friday
At 6 p.m.
Yeah.
at 6 p.m. And for the election to be held on Monday, February 27th.
And just to make
And
sure,
I second that.
that's Todd, that's the last possible day the election can be held.
That's
Yes,
the
sir.
45th day.
That's why.
That's after the
Justice-
5 days and the 20, and the 45 days and everything else. The
That's
last
right.
possible day.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
That's
so people
why I
have as much
chose that
time to
day.
campaign as possible. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
We'll have a little.
Thank you.
Now, Commissioners, on Thursday, I'll need to regroup with you. I would like to see well, I'll talk with you individually before Thursday's meeting.
The meeting is now ended, adjourned.
Did the
Oh, and
Dolphins?
just for the record,
did
sorry.
the Dolphins win? Does anybody know?
Thanks, everybody,
Briefly,
for
just for
being
the record,
here.
the special election is called pursuant to Resolution R-23-0001.
Thank you for being here.
Commissioner?